Okay, my name is Jody Storch. I'm here today for the senatorial debate between Steve Campbell from the New Generation and Jamil Nolan from the Titans Party. Let's go ahead and get started. The first question will be for Ms. Jamil. Are you for or against drug testing as a qualification for public assistance, and why?
Yes, I'm for drug testing for public assistance. It is required in the workforce, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be required if someone is seeking government assistance. It will help the government to weed out those that are abusing the system, and so that's my reason for why drug testing should be allowed for public assistance and getting public assistance.
Okay. Steve, how do you feel about that?
The New Generation wants to extend benefits to those who actually need it. The way you extend that is by cutting costs elsewhere. The way you cut costs is by getting rid of the abusers of the system. So if we can weed out 10 to 12 people, but help 3 or 4, then the balance is going to be in a positive manner for the community.
All right. The next question will be for Steve. The unemployed Georgians feel that there should be an increase in the unemployment benefits. Do you feel unemployed Georgians should receive more than $330 a week in unemployment benefits?
The New Generation, we feel that they deserve a little more than that. A lot of people are out of work against their will. And the only way you can do that is by one of two things: raising taxes, which we don't want to do, or coming up with money elsewhere. Well, we come up with the money elsewhere is by getting rid of the abusers of the system. So as we already stated about the abuse problem, we get rid of those people. It frees up money to help out the ones who actually want to help themselves. The ones who don't want to help themselves, i.e. the drug abusers, the New Generation, we're not going to fund anybody's drug habits.
Okay. And Jamil, how do you feel about that?
The Titans feel that receiving $330 a week, which is $1,320 a month, is not enough money to support a family of 2, 3, or 4. So the Titans propose that the increase in unemployment benefits should be based on a tier, and it should be based on the number of families that are there. And we feel that if you're a family of 2, you should receive at least $450 to $650 a month. And the tier would change based on a 2-parent, 2-child household.
Okay. The next question is for you, Ms. Jamil. Should mandatory fees in colleges and universities be reassessed and based off your status, and should they be capped?
Yes, I do feel that the college mandated fees should be based on a student's status. I feel that a non-traditional student should not have to pay the same amount as a traditional student, and there should definitely be a cap on that. I don't feel that universities should impose all of their fees on the students.
Okay. And Steve, how do you feel about that?
The New Generation feels that there should be a cap to the mandatory fees, simply because for instance, I take 12 hours at this university. I pay the same amount of mandatory fees as somebody who takes 18, as well as somebody who's taking only 3 hours. So why they should not pay more and why the people who take less than me should not pay less, it should be prorated in that the amount of hours you take here, it ties into the amount that you pay in your mandatory fees.
Okay. The next question is for Steve. If you were to win, what would you do to get a bill passed for the federal government to regulate university tuition while making it affordable to all?
Making university tuition affordable to all is a daunting task that a lot of people are trying to tackle. And what we would do is, if you receive financial aid from the federal government, you have to meet a certain criteria. And if you meet that criteria, your loan goes away. If you fail to meet that, then you have to pay it back, and that's going to drive up productivity in the schools, and it's going to create a healthier environment at the schools.
Okay. And Ms. Jamil, how do you feel about that?
Well, the Titans feel that we will work to get the bill passed by forcing the universities and colleges to tap into their endowment funds. These are funds that they receive that are tax-exempt donations, and there are 20 wealthy universities now that have over $200 billion in their endowment funds, and they should be able to allocate those funds to offer grants to students that meet the minimum qualifications within their policy guidelines.
Okay. All right, thank you both. We can go ahead and have closing remarks from Jamil from the Titans Party.
Hi, I'm Jamil Nolan from the Titans, and you should vote for me because I am a representation of the Georgians. I am a full-time student, a single mother, and I understand what it takes to get things done that the Georgians are needing, asking, and wanting. That's why you should vote for me.
All right, and we will take closing remarks from Steve Campbell from the New Generation Party.
I'm Steve Campbell. I represent the New Generation. I represent you as well, and I would like your vote. The New Generation is fiercely loyal to protecting your future. Thank you.